2 billion years ago, our ancestors were microbes. 500 million years ago, fish. 100 million years ago, something like mice. And 60 million years ago, arboreal apes. And 1 million years ago, proto-humans puzzling out the taming of fire. Our evolutionary lineage is marked by mastery of change. In our time, pace is only quickening. Hey, my name is Adrian, and I'm a scientist. Well, I'm in high school, but I can dream. My preferred study is biology. Who can't love biology? It is so much fun. DNA is possibly the coolest stuff on the earth. Next to Bose-Einstein condensates, those are pretty cool. Anyway, the Singularity. Singularity's been following me around for a long time. It all started a couple years ago when I got an issue of Time magazine, and this was on the cover. Bam! I mean, come on, look at that. I mean, of course, seeing that, I wanted to read it. It looked like something to do with biology, so why not? And a couple years ago, when I got an internship at NASA Ames Research Center, there was a campus of the Singularity University at NASA. And I was like, okay, so Singularity's here too. And I keep hearing about Singularity from all of these scientists that I follow. So if you're a biologist, or a computer scientist, or a non-scientific person even, you are in for a treat. If I've heard about it, then you need to hear about it. And here you go, the Singularity. According to Ray Kurzweil, the father of the idea and the popularization of the theory of technological singularity, the singularity is the future period during which the pace of technological change will be so rapid, its impact so deep, that human life will be irreversibly transformed. The singularity will represent the culmination of the merger of our biological thinking and existence with our technology. In short, the singularity is the point in time when computer intelligence not only reaches human intelligence and integration in our society, but it passes it. 2020 is the predicted year for a personal computer to have equal processing power to that of a human. And 2045, the predicted year of the singularity, is the year of the personal computer that would have the processing power of every human brain on the planet combined. Having such an advanced computation system can help mankind with a bunch of useful things, like the fabrication of nanobots that can enter the blood to fight cancer and other pathogens. The advancements of extremely lifelike virtual reality systems for physical and mental rehabilitation, and of course gaming, progress in methods of life extension, and making methods to help the environment. It's not like we can't do all of this on our own, it would just take a whole lot longer. See, the human mind suffers a few key limitations when compared with computers. Basic neural transmissions are several million times slower than contemporary electronic circuits. We recognize patterns with our brain's repetitively coded parallel system. I mean, our brains are like 90% redundancy. And our physiological bandwidth for processing new information is tiny compared to that of a computer. We have to go to school and take 20 years of learning everything we need to develop technology and then go to work, while computers can just download and go. And our mental libraries are tiny compared to the exponential growth of potentially integrated information for a computer. Which brings us to our next point and what Kurzweil calls the key idea of singularity. The fact that change in human-made technology is accelerating and powers are growing exponentially. I'll be explaining this in the style of by heart because I don't really feel like doing this on the computer. Now, quick math recap, there are two main types of growth. Linear growth involves repeatedly adding a constant, so the rate of increase remains the same forever. For example, the equation y equals x plus 2 produces a nice straight line thingy and shows steady and easily predictable growth. Now what we want to focus on is exponential growth. Exponential growth requires dividing by one constant, shown by the math equation y equals 1 over x. This equation shows a pattern of the x value approaching 0 but never reaching it because it's impossible to divide by 0. The y-axis represents the level of change, and it exceeds all possible limits that can coincide with an x-coordinate that is not 0. Now for the visual learners like me, here's the graph. Let's say the y-axis is technological advancement and the x-axis is time. Growth starts off pretty steady, but then explodes until infinity is about reached. The steady section represents previous biological evolution. Right now we're at what's called the knee of the curve, and right about here is singularity. So, at this exponential rate, by the predicted singularity of 2045, human AI intelligence will be expanded about 1 billion-fold. But it's important to keep in mind that not only is technological change happening exponentially, but the rate at which the technological change is occurring is growing exponentially. So we technically won't see 100 years of technological progress in the 21st century. According to the L curve of exponential growth, we're going to see on the order of 20,000 years of progress in the 21st century based on today's rate of progress. That's a lot of growth. But you may be wondering, what kind of technology exactly is changing at an exponential rate? Well, a great example rests in this little guy. Or should I say, this little guy. Well, more like the guy that takes up a whole story of a building. This is ENIAC, the first electronic computer in the world, unveiled by the University of Pennsylvania in 1946. How can the most complicated computations that could be done on the ENIAC be done so much more quickly, more cheaply, and more compactly today? The answer is described by Moore's Law. Moore's Law states that computer chip capabilities double roughly every 18 to 24 months, so they're faster, smaller, and cheaper. This exponential growth of efficiency occurs because scientists keep finding ways to get a smaller distance between transistors, so electrons will not have to travel such large spaces, thus quickening the signal transmission. So the smaller the spaces, the more transistors we can fit onto a chip, and the faster the whole computer will go. For example, the ENIAC computer in 1949 could calculate 2,037 digits of pi in 70 hours. The modern laptop can do the same thing in 3.5 seconds. Just imagine what kind of technology we'll be using in 2045, the predicted singularity, if Moore's Law continues this exponential pattern. Putting the techie details aside, a very core concept of technological singularity is the core biological principle with which we have been familiarized for centuries: evolution. According to Werner Vinge's singularity theory, the natural progression of evolution entails the singularity to occur because technology has been evolving with us. Since our beginning, humans have defied regular evolution because we use tools, which have helped us improve ourselves more than simple natural selection could have. Tools have given us superhuman abilities, per se. Thus, as we advance, so does our technology. It's a case of mutualism. Singularity is just the point where advancement of our tools exceeds advancement of biological man. But I think biological man has more of a role in the singularity than people let on. Right now it might sound like a robot-ruled world. There are two types of human involvement in singularity: artificial intelligence, or AI, and intelligence amplification, IA. Confusing, right? Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the more stereotypical sci-fi-esque approach, in which our technologies will match then vastly exceed the refinement and suppleness of what we regard as our best human traits, as says Kurzweil. I like to think of it like the goal of AI is to integrate intelligent yet humanoid machines similar to Data from Star Trek Next Generation. Lieutenant Commander Data was the computer robot completely synthesized by Dr. Noonien Sim. We've actually already gotten a start on recreating human intelligence by reverse engineering the brain, or recording human chemical thought contents digitally. Slices of the cerebral cortex, visual cortex, and auditory cortex have already been reverse engineered. Kurzweil says that by 2029, the whole human brain should be reverse engineered down to the subtle emotional intelligence. These subtly intelligent machines would be key factors in developing new technology and entering other work fields, because they would be able to send information to other humanoid machines, calculate at the speed of light, and maintain communication with humans. It would be the perfect package. I happen to agree more with the latter and certainly much less extreme singularity theory. Werner Vinge's intelligence amplification, or IA. IA proposes that humans, rather than machines, will reach superintelligence because of the infinite amount of information at our fingertips. Our intelligence will be improved because the road to it will be shortened. This way, instead of having machines do intellectual work by using humans as tools, humans will do the work by continuing to use machines as tools. Communication is essential to this theory. We have already seen rapid development of communication technology, between the bulletin board-like communication of social media and the personal video communication of Skype and FaceTime. Neurological technology will also thrive under this theory because it will work to perfect the human mind. For example, one can expect prosthetics and other computer programs that connect directly to the human mind. The human brain has 100 billion neurons that can be scanned by MRI neuron by neuron. Therefore, IA will permit mankind to aim to digitize the human brain. However, unlike in the AI theory, we would use this data to augment our brains, not reverse engineer them. It's proposed that our digitized knowledge could be voluntarily updated to a giant mother computer. much like the World Wide Web, except it's a direct brain-computer transfer and vice versa. Thus, one could download brain programs for instant knowledge. Everyone in the world can have instant, easy access to whatever fact one chooses to share. This, scarily, is quite a logical prediction considering our current day advancements. With our social media and dependence on technology, it is very clear the singularity approaches.